morning, friends. It's been a very long time since I have come to you. I've been very busy. So I'm going to give you some life updates and some changes and just talk about some things going on. So that the video doesn't get so very long, I'm probably going to split this and do a separate video because I want to talk a little bit more about the pandemic and how to prepare for that, stocking up and that sort of thing, which I've already done that back in the spring, but I'm going to do it again because things are really bad over at the grocery stores. I don't know about where you live, but I've been hearing even other people across the country talking about how the store shelves are bare. They can't keep up with putting foods back on the shelves and everything. This year we know a lot of people decided to homeschool their children instead of trying to send them back to school. And so school curriculum for homeschooling even got very hard to get. I have heard from some homeschooling moms. Alex's mom is homeschooling Alex this year. He's in kindergarten. Can you believe he's going to be 6 in like 2.5 weeks? He'll be 6. Hard to believe. But yeah, so another thing too, people who that normally can foods, home canning from your garden, that sort of thing. It was hard getting canning supplies this year. I felt in my gut back in the spring, pick up extra jars, pick up extra lids, and I did that. And I'm glad that I did, because when I wanted to just maybe go get a little bit more, because I was going to try to do a bunch of canning this year, but things got on hold for that for me. I didn't, because you couldn't find canning supplies. You couldn't find canning lids, you couldn't find anything. So things are bad. People who never even canned before started canning this year and watching YouTube videos, learning how to can, because I think everybody sees the writing on the wall, okay, how bad that things really are. So I'm going to talk to you about a working pantry, an overflow pantry, and a long-term storage pantry. Now for myself, I've always had the working pantry and overflow pantry. Pretty basically came from my pantry here in the kitchen and some of my cupboards, but I had a few places in my dining room or wherever that I put extra things. But from my video that I did back in the spring about stocking up on things, and remember I showed you downstairs in my basement my pool table that had all the overflow things. So I've gotten shelves and that sort of thing, and so I'm going to show you how I organize that. And the thing is, if you have pantries, you need to rotate everything. So I'll do that in a separate video after this one. So what I'm going to talk to you about now is it's September. People have been asking about my fall decorations. Okay, we're going to talk about decorations and life updates and changes, and I'll talk to you even about menopause, because I think a lot of you old-time friends that have been with me a long time, I started menopausing in my late 40s because I had a hysterectomy when I was like 42, and so it threw me several years later into menopause. And so I'm at the tail end of it, but I got an issue going on right now that is no fun, but this too shall pass. So first, let's look outside. You want to know why? Because Lacey is wanting to go outside. Okay, here we are outside, and I pressure washed everything back in the spring. I'm going to pressure wash again for the fall and get everything all tidied up and everything. And here where I move pots and stuff like that needs to all be cleaned. There's just some outdoor projects that we're working on. We're going to be trimming back a lot of bushes and trees, and especially in areas where there's any like deadness in the trees and that sort of thing. Like the June bugs really attacked our plum tree this year over here. So yeah, there's a lot to do. There's my bench over there that I painted. And like this is the second time we've had an issue with tiles falling off this backsplash, and it's only just this back one. The other one over there is fine. All the other stones and everything are fine, but this backsplash, it's giving us a hard time. So Adam and I are going to come out here and take off these top tiles. We're going to finish getting this mortar. See, it's just like this that gets the tile to stick, and you can see there's a board back there. We're just going to get another board, and we're going to screw it in, a long board, and then we're going to get a top board, screw that in, and then we're painting it. And why? Because I'm making things easy in my life. I'm sick and tired of dealing with all those tiles. So we have a few boards even on our deck that they're just getting old and worn and that sort of thing. So the boys are coming out here sometime here, hopefully in the next week or two. They're going to pop up boards, get all that adjusted, and then I'm going to have to come back out here and paint those boards. But that's okay, because I bought a lot of paint. When was it? Back late spring, I think, is when I painted the deck again. So anyway, but I've been trying to clean up a little bit. This is what's left of all my plants. My parsley, I'm going to bring those in and dry them out. My basil, it was starting to go to seed. I'm going to see if enough seeds drop in that potted thing that it's in and see if they come back. Rosemary comes back, thyme will come back. So I'm just leaving that, and that's my hostas over there. And yeah, I'm coming out with the pressure washer and gonna clean everything off. And we have some trees and all that, like I said, that we need to take care of. And here's Chloe, she wants out. Oh, what else have I been doing? I've been painting. I've been painting. Adam painted his room, and he painted it white, and it looks nice up there. He sent a couple other little projects for us. He's going to do our deck too, him and Josiah. Put the young men's to work, you know. They're younger. They can do things a bit easier than us older people. So I've painted all the wainscoting. I've painted all the doors, the front and the back side of the doors. I've painted all the white, really all the white trim, like this has been painted. All the wainscoting over in this way in the shelf. I painted all the white around the fireplace there. I painted all the wainscoting in the bathroom. So I've done all that. And there's my fall decorations. While I'm in here, I'll just show you that. So what else? Baseboards, painted baseboards. Me and Carly, we painted all the way up the staircase, all the spindles. The only thing that we did not paint is this that goes up this way. That's because we're going to bring the ladder in. We haven't done that yet, but you can tell the difference between that white and this white. So we got to get that little bit. There's a couple little odds and ends that I have to do still. Then went outside here and painted all the spindle. So yeah, all the white spindles and everything. So I did that. That took a good day to do that. And I had to put like a couple coats on. But that's all nice and tidy and clean. And we still have all of our plants. And we have these two ferns that are hanging up here. These all did well because they're basically in the shade. Why all the painting? Why did we do all of that? And we have other projects we're wanting to do because we were talking about putting our house up for sale and moving and downsizing. So I don't know, we might put that on hold for right now because for some reason I'm not feeling it. You know, like you kind of listen to your gut. It's really God talking to you, and it's just like, don't do that just yet. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now, is to just put a hold on it. So I look at it this way. We're going to continue doing a few more projects, like the outside stuff, things that need to be done. First of all, because they just need to be done. But if we do decide to move when the house goes up for sale, it'll all be done. So, you know, you have to do that. Even when you're moving, you got to spruce up the paints and just make everything nice and shiny and new looking and just clean, you know, that sort of thing. Oh, so 2 other painting projects that I did. So let's turn this way. So my family room, you can see the paint. Remember I had that faux painting that was on here? So I carried the paint, the same color, and I carried it over here, and there's more fall. We'll get to the fall in a minute. So I did that. I had to do it above that door. I had to do it all around here. When I was doing the white, I did the white trim around the door, around the window. And then when you're painting, of course, you got to take all the curtains off and everything. So I did that and washed them and hung them back up. And then another painting project, if you'll remember in my laundry room, my walls used to be like a tan beige color. And my wainscoting was kind of like an ivory, yellowish kind of color. That's what the people who had the house before us had. So now, as you could see, even early on when I was pointing this direction, it's all white now. And this white here is the same white of all the doors, of the wainscoting and everything. So you can see just how white this is. So I just did all like white colors in here. And the trim kind of has a little bit, the trim meaning the wainscoting has a little bit of an ivory, you know, you can see in comparison, see how white that is then in comparison to this. But I did not do it the same color. Matter of fact, when I put this color on, it was like white compared to the other that was on there. And then this is how it dried. So I did this and it really brightened this room up a lot. And Adam built new shelves because those iron wire shelf things, they started falling. And I put a curtain rod up here so that I can hang clothes. Plus we still have our clothesline that you pull it and you go all the way over to there and then you clip it there. And so I have all the space in here to hang clothes too. So anyway, yeah. And I just kind of, I remember I used to have these things that went all the way across. Didn't do that now. I just only keep up here what I need. These are things that I'm working on right now. Remember I said 3 pantries. Instead of having all my overflow stock, that's what caused my other shelf to fall. So this one's really sturdy and in there now. It's in the studs. So anyhow, yeah, I'll discuss all of that when I discuss my different pantries. But I do think that the room looks nice and bright. So much better, much better. Okay, I'm in menopause and all like the night sweats and all of that stuff stopped pretty basically, that I really don't have a problem with that. But now I got an issue with UTIs. So bladder infections and stuff. And so now I'm in the process of going to see a urologist, and I had to go for an x-ray. That's the first step, that they look for stones. It's really weird. He just wanted me to go for a CAT scan, but my insurance says they won't pay for the CAT scan till you do an x-ray first, because they want to see if stones, like kidney stones and that, show up on the x-rays, but they don't, because sometimes they can be so small an x-ray doesn't catch it. So it's a waste of money and a waste of time, but I already did it. I went and I had my x-ray done, and I go for my CAT scan this week, and then hopefully they're not going to find any kidney stones or anything, because I really think this is a menopausal issue, because it happens with women. You know, there's a lot of dryness in that lower area, and it causes bacteria to back up in there and everything, especially if you're not drinking a lot of water. And as I told my doctor, I drink only when I'm thirsty, and I can go almost half of a day without even, like I can drink my tea right now and then maybe not even have nothing to drink for hours to come, because I only drink when I'm thirsty. But if you have this sort of an issue, you need to drink more frequently. And I've been having to force water down my throat, and I just like, ugh. So anyway, then I got to go after the CAT scan. I have to have this scope thing done, because then they got to go into the bladder to check the bladder, making sure there's no cancers, there's no bladder stones, that the bladder's in good shape, and all this. Okay, so If that's the case and everything's fine, which I think it is, the next step is, what did he tell me? Oh, I'll be sent home with little cups, and every month, or when I feel like UTI symptoms coming on, I have to pee in my cup, I have to take it to the doctor's office, they have to check it for a UTI, then they're going to keep track of it, they're going to log it for several months. And if that's an issue, then of course, then they rule out all other sorts of, that's why you have to go for all these testings and scopes and all this, because they got to rule out stuff. So anyhow, if then that's the case, after they do that, then they'll just put me on a low grade antibiotic, and it will be continuous for a period of time, to try to have any more UTIs come on. So anyway, it's an annoyance because it's all this running around back and forth, you know, all this stuff. So anyway, so menopause, for a lot of people, menopause is bad. Oh, Lacey's at the door. So for me, I have to say this about menopause. I really didn't have a lot of issues. I didn't have like bad mood swings. You know, a lot of women get mood swings. They get other issues too. I basically just had hot flashes, and most of my hot flashes came at night. They call them night sweats. Sometimes I had them in the day, but it wasn't often. And now I'm having this issue. Other than that, you know, I kind of like breeze through menopause. But it's been going on for a decade now. Because like I said, I was like in my late 40s when all of this first started. So they say it lasts about a decade or so. And then, so I think I'm at the end of it. Let's talk about dogs for a minute. So Chloe, she turned 10 in March. And Ellie over here, she turned 10 in May. And Lacey just turned 7 in August. So girly update for everybody. We had a Dalmatian when Harry and I first got married, and he lived to be 12. Then we left Virginia. He died right before we moved. Then after we moved, we got our first boxer, Noah, and she was born, I think, in June. And when she turned 10 in June, and this was right when we were moving to come here, she died that August. It was the first week of August. And then it was a couple weeks later, that's when we got Lucy. But we also had our boxer, Aslan. And he was born in October, so he turned 10 in October. But then the end of December, it was right after Christmas, that then he passed away. So I'm just saying this so that you can see that boxers' lifespan is usually about 10 years. And so all of my boxers were 10 years plus however many months. Lucy, she was born in June, and she turned 10 that June, and then she passed away the day before my birthday in November. Now, so Chloe, the first one that I just showed you, she turned 10 this last March, and Chloe is like kicking it. It's like Chloe doesn't have no problems. Chloe's just as normal and active as she's always been. I called her, she's my forever dog, my forever boxer, because I don't know, the way that she's not slowing down. In other words, like even the other ones like Ellie, when they get older, they start to slow down. Chloe's not even slowing down. I mean, she's still very active. But now Ellie, she's starting to have health issues. She has Cushing's disease, and it's like a little tumor that gets up in their brain. It pushes on whatever nerve or whatever in the brain, where it makes you feel like you have to go to the bathroom a lot. So we're having problems with that, but she's on medicine and all that's regulated. But I don't know if something else is going on, because I can tell she's really slowing down, she's really declining, and I don't know if we have too much longer for her. So she turned 10 in May. So June, July, August, September. So she's 10 years and 4 months. So, like I said, I think that's about what Lucy was, 10 years and 5 months maybe, when she passed away. The other two boxers before, they were only 10 years and like a couple months, you know. So, anyway, I don't know getting through the holidays. If she'll make it through the holidays, I'm not sure. So other than that, girlies are doing good. Cats are doing good. Mr. Binks is a forever cat. Okay, like Mr. Binks is 18 years old. He'll be 19 in April. And yeah, he's walking a little slower. You know, he walks, he's got arthritis and stuff. So like, you know, he walks a little wonky, but you know, he's still going. So anyway, that's it for the pet updates. And so now let me show you my fall decorations, which are not much. And when I take you downstairs in the next video to show like my different pantries, my overflow and my long-term storage, you're going to see what I've got left of all my holiday decorating, because I got rid of a lot. I guess before I even talk about all of that, because we were wanting to move, I'll just tell you what our plan was. So for July, it was clean out month, and we cleaned out. We had one of those big, huge, long dumpsters, a 20-yard dumpster. We cleaned out our shed and our garages and things from our bedrooms. We were hoping to get stuff from the basement. We couldn't, because we filled up the dumpster just with all of that. That's what happens when you just hold on to everything. Oh, I don't want to get rid of this. I don't want to get rid of this. And it's not so much me, it's my husband that never really wanted to get rid of anything. And we've had our house cleared out before. We got rid of a bunch of Christmas stuff because, you know, all the Christmas stuff that I used to have. And I had some junk people that came last year, and I told you guys about that, and they took a lot of Christmas stuff. They took even more Christmas stuff and fall stuff. So we did that in July, and then August was painting and whatever other projects you got to do. September now is clean up and clean the house really good, like fall cleaning kind of things like that. I got to get the driveway resurfaced. I got to get the chimney sweep, but they come here every year anyway, so do the driveway people, but I haven't done that yet. I got to do that. So yeah, so we've been doing all of that. So I threw out a lot of stuff. So after we did the dumpster, and we did that, but by the time I was looking at all the stuff that was down in the basement that I wanted to have gone, and especially pieces of furniture and stuff like that, I just got 1-800-JUNK. I think they're like all over in America. So I got them to come. I thought their truck was actually a little bit bigger than the guys that usually come here to take stuff, but it was the same size. So that's okay, and they were just like maybe $100 more than what these other guys charge. So I used them, just experimenting, never used them before. They cleared out a lot of things, but then I had more things that I really wanted to let go of. And so then I had the J-Dog guys, the other junk people came. And so when it comes to my fall decorations, I have one box of fall stuff. That's it. If it doesn't fit in the box, oh well, I have one box. Okay. I have 2 Christmas trees, 2. I saved the white one, but I'm thinking about selling it. I don't know. And then I have the one that I bought last year. I have one box from my shed that I have Christmas things in. Remember when I used to do all the fall decorating, the Christmas decorating, I used the dolly, I'd bring all the containers up, I'd load them up on my deck, all those containers. Bye-bye, all of them gone. And downstairs in my basement, it's pretty basically the Christmas things that I've used over the last 2 years that I saved those. So yeah, that's it. I got rid of a lot of stuff. So the fall stuff that I have out now is not much, but I'll show it to you. Okay, I pulled out my little fall shade to go on my candle, and in case anybody's wondering what this is, Carly started making big cookies, and so that was part of a big cookie. Okay, so fall will just start right here on top of the refrigerator, and I just have this one little like a candelabra thing. I used to have this on the dining room table, and this is new this year because it was only a few bucks over at Walmart, and I liked it. It's fabric on here and it's plaid. So that on top of my refrigerator. Then over here I have this one. This came from Walmart this year too, because I realized I threw so much stuff out that I didn't have a whole lot of things left. So I sent Carly to Walmart. I said, just get a few things. So, and I thought these were actually cute. They're wood. And we have our shofar. Rosh Hashanah is coming up. And so over here, I just have a couple little pumpkins there, and I leave this out all year, well, except at Christmas. And then these were just some leaves on a garland that I pulled off, and I put them in there. And then I have this, and these are new. These came from Walmart. Like I said, I just told Carly get a few little things. So I have that, and then I've had this, and I've had that, and again, these are new, these two things and that pumpkin, and those came from Walmart, and I've had that. And then there's this on the shelf over here, and I showed the shelf in the bathroom, so I'm not going to go back in there. Over here, I just put a little pumpkin. That's it. And then over here, I just have this. And that's our little acorn candy dish, and that's a pumpkin. So just a little bit, and sprinkled some leaves there. And like up here, I leave this out all the time, but I put, like, you know, some leaves. Just wherever I have greenery, I try to just put some leaves, you know. This, I didn't do my big mantle thing, but these were on the end of my big garland that I used to put out every fall, so I just took those off. And I need to get new lights. This, with the stars, this is getting like really old, and I have lights that are not coming on here, so I got to go get a new strand. And so there's that, and then I have that in the foyer, and I just have a little garland thing that I put on top, like so, like that. And then this is, I just leave this out here all the time, and I just went ahead and put some leaves in there. So here in the living room, I just put this garland here with that, and then this pumpkin, give thanks. And then over here, this was the garland that I used to put over my fireplace, and I just made like a wreath with it and just put it there. So there's that, and then I have this on my door. And then on the back side of the door that I painted, I have that. And I'm not doing nothing on my front porch. Then I'll show you in the dining room. There, that's it. That's it. I didn't do anything else. There's nothing on my table or nothing. I just did this on the buffet. Okay, so that's gonna do it for this video. Again, why would you get rid of all your holiday decorations and all of that? Like I said, I started getting rid of some things last year. You know, my husband retired, and you know, he got a good retirement and everything, and even still, you know, you're just thinking you don't want to keep up with just everything when you have a bigger home, you know, because there's more expenses and that sort of thing. So we were thinking we were going to have to downsize anyway. And so then we started coming around again to, yeah, we're probably going to have to move. And then, like I'm saying, I don't feel right now to do that. You know, we've got this pandemic thing going on and everything too. And so, I don't know. For me, I'm just holding off on that. But anyway, yeah, so with downsizing, you're going to have to get rid of things. And that's why I really cleaned out. I cleaned out in bedrooms, stuff in the shed. It's like if we're not using it, we haven't used it in a couple years, we don't need it, we're probably not going to use it. You're just hanging on to stuff that's collecting dust. Get rid of it. So that's what I did. I just really got rid of a lot of things. So anyway, all that to say that it's been busy around here this summer. Hopefully the bulk of all of our projects and stuff will be done at the end of this month. And yeah, even on decorations for the holidays and stuff, very minimal sandy, I guess you can say, when it comes to decorations, not so much all the furniture and stuff. But if we move, seriously, we'd have to either sell or give away or have the junk guys come and get rid of a lot of furniture even, because this is a big house. It's like almost 4,000 square feet. It's got a lot of furniture and stuff. So anyway, yeah, so that's that. Those are my updates. I'll see you guys in the next video when I talk about my 3 pantries. You guys take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.